Hi, Kevin Winston with Digital LA. We are very excited to be celebrating Ultraman Day with Jeff Gomez. Jeff Gomez is CEO of Starlight Entertainment, and he is known worldwide for the work that he does in working with brands and licenses and bringing pop culture to fans. So, Jeff, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. It's so fantastic to be here. You have no idea. It's just amazing
like
to be a part of Ultraman Day.
Long time in coming. So you've done a lot of stuff with Ultraman over the course of the years, and you are an Ultraman fan OG. Can you tell us how you first got involved or aware of Ultraman?
Wow, it goes pretty far back. In the early 1970s, I was a kid who spent a lot of time on the streets of New York City, but my dad, he moved away to San Juan, Puerto Rico, and I had to kind of spend my summers with him down there. Now, Puerto Rico was not my bag exactly. It was an unfamiliar place. I didn't speak Spanish. I was very lonely. One day he called on me and said, come check this out. And I saw, it was like 4 o'clock in the afternoon. It looked like a Godzilla movie. Godzilla was my thing. I was a Toho boy. I knew E.G. Tsuburaya's name from his affiliation with the Godzilla movies, because he designed these costumes, these Godzilla suits and things like that, and the special effects. And this giant silver dude was kicking ass. There you go. And it was like a movie. I didn't quite understand what was going on. It was in Spanish, but it was just awesome. Gritty, real. The battles were intense, and I came to realize that they were running it twice a week, so I could see like a Godzilla movie 2 times a week with this big silver dude, Ultraman, they called him, and I just fell madly in love. I was completely transfixed. I would spend years trying to figure out where it came from, and realized that there were more series after the original Ultraman. And ultimately, in Hawaii in 1975, I started watching Ultra 7, and he was my jam. Ultra 7 was my guy. I really bonded with the seriousness and with the power of Ultra 7's opponents, and with the mythology that had begun to unfold across these different series.
Nice. And then did you get involved with or into all the other related movies and TV shows and games?
The general kind of cinematic genre is tokusatsu, so live action special effects TV shows. So I was watching the Ultra Brothers in their various shows as they unfolded. It was hard to get hold of that stuff, and some of it was a matter of kind of haunting comic book and pop culture conventions, looking for VHS tapes, bootlegs of the show. And of course, it introduced me to a world of shows the Tsuburaya Productions was involved with. And then I got into the Japanese superhero stuff, the changing superhero shows and so forth. But Ultraman really remained something that I was deeply affectionate for. He kind of stood for something, and his stoicism, his kind of silence was really kind of magnificent to me, and kept me coming back.
Nice. So fast forward to today. You are a transmedia expert known worldwide for the work that you do in transmedia. What is transmedia, if people don't know?
Sure. Well, to be honest with you, transmedia for me started with the Ultra series, and this kind of Japanese media mix culture. Essentially, the Japanese believed in the movement of story across different media platforms. They were much more cooperative with one another as companies, TV show companies, newspaper companies, comic book companies, book publishers, direct-to-video companies. They all kind of cooperated, so story could move fluidly from one medium to the next. So you could see the series on TV, but the prequel would be an original video, direct-to-video movie, or the sequel could be an animated feature that you see in the theaters. And that just blew my mind because there was an integrity to it, a consistency to it. American stuff, you could go watch Planet of the Apes in the movies, and then you watch the cartoon show and there were dinosaurs on the Planet of the Apes, and that just didn't make any sense. There was, they just made up stuff as they went along, whereas the Japanese seemed to design their worlds in ways that maintained a kind of integrity. We call it canon. And so I longed to apply that kind of storytelling technique to American popular culture. And I got a chance to do that in the 90s when I worked for Valiant Comics and created a continuity between the Turok comics and the Turok Nintendo 64 video game and the web presence for Turok Dinosaur Hunter, and had it be kind of continuous. And I did it again with Magic the Gathering. Out of
Magic.
Magic was a universe that I participated in developing with Wizards of the Coast that showed up in comic books and video games and the web and so forth, and had a consistency, a canon to it that is maintained to this day. This I called at the time kind of multi-platform or multimedia storytelling, and the better word, which Henry Jenkins popularized, is transmedia storytelling, and that's what I became, a transmedia producer.
Nice. I didn't realize that transmedia had its roots basically in Japanese storytelling across multiple platforms.
From my perspective, I mean, everyone has a different interpretation of transmedia. You can go back and look at old Superman serials and Lone Ranger TV shows and see iterations on different media platforms, and there's something to that, but there wasn't really a consistency the way that the Japanese did it.
Right. So as the transmedia producer, you've worked with Hollywood studios and large brands on helping tell their stories across multiple platforms, as you were saying. How does working with Ultraman fit in with some of the other franchises or brands or properties that you've had a chance to work on?
We've gotten to work on some of the most amazing Hollywood blockbuster properties: Pirates of the Caribbean, Avatar. We've worked on Men in Black and Spider-Man for Sony Pictures, and we've done video game universes like Halo and Master Chief, and so those universes are some of them are pretty huge. Very few of them can rival the nearly 1,000 pieces of audiovisual content that Ultraman comprises. That's hundreds and hundreds of TV episodes, dozens and dozens of feature films, and they all take place in this kind of multiverse. So in order to do our jobs, this was kind of Halo level, because Halo had massive amounts of information, and yet we had to kind of track these ultra characters through this multiverse to make sure that there was a consistency and a streamlined way of explaining what this is, particularly to new fans who are here in North America.
So when you're working on a transmedia property like Ultraman or the other ones you worked on, what are some of the key things to keep in mind as far as keeping everything straight, as far as like canon and making sure the characters' personalities and powers are consistent and the world is consistent and the supporting characters are consistent, making sure everything like is consistent, but also telling fun new stories as well, and making sure that core fans who've known it forever and new fans can get involved.
Isn't this the greatest job in the world? Because that's my
A lot of
job.
fun to me.
Job to defend and protect the Ultraman universe.
Much
I'm
like
like the watcher.
Ultraman protects and defends the universe. So yes, you are the Ultraman of the Transmedia.
Well, you know, so here's the fascinating thing about Ultraman. It is so fundamental. It's so iconic. You know, you think of Mickey Mouse or Superman in American popular culture. That's who Ultraman is to the Japanese.
Wow.
So there are things about Ultraman that have iterated themselves in all kinds of other properties, not just in Japan, but here in the United States. So you have Power Rangers and Voltron and Pacific Rim and Transformers. You know, these are kind of variations on that, you know, kind of fundamental theme of giant robotic looking beings and monsters and things like that. So when Ultraman has been kind of copied so often, how do you reintroduce this this franchise, this universe, to global popular culture in such a way that people go, ah, you know, I've seen that already? Well, you have to determine what the truly and fundamentally unique things were about Ultraman, and to do that, we dive super deep. And we came to realize that there are beautiful things about Ultraman that have not been replicated. There's a fundamental philosophy behind Ultraman where he's not here just to kick monster butt. He's here to kind of show us that there is a greater way to be. He's aspirational. He's not preaching to us. He doesn't sit us down and say, you have to behave better. But by his presence and by the fact that he believes in us, by defending and protecting us, he's showing us that our ills, the indulgences that humanity has made in recent decades, is fabricating and drawing these kaiju, these giant monsters. You know, the pollution, the misunderstanding, the confusion, the warlike ways. It's drawing these creatures to us, and we have to be better, like the ultras, in order to be free of this menace. I thought that was wonderful, and we make sure that it iterates itself in even the Marvel comics that are developing, and you can see it in the new series Ultraman Z, which kind of brings us back to basics when it comes to these themes.
So the kaiju, the monsters that Ultraman battles, are not just evil villains who want to take over the world. They are manifestations of a broader human zeitgeist, or
our flaws, our you know, our negativity draws them. Some of them are not evil, but they're irritated by what it is that we're doing.
Right. Right.
You know, and so they mess with us. So yeah, you know, Ultraman doesn't kill them until the last possible minute, because he's trying to say, you know, can you get out of here? You know? Right. By the way, I'm loving Ultraman Z, which is the new series. And I have something special that I'd like to share with you.
You have a special video, perhaps?
I have a special video.
All right, can we see it? That'd be awesome.
This is Kiyotaka Taguchi, the director of Ultraman Z. He is one of the best directors in the history of the Ultra series, and I'm hoping we can run a little thing that a little message from him to the fans.
So restrictions for the shooting on the virtual set for Ultra Galaxy Fight is because we're shooting against green screen. then you have to be sort of rely on your imaginations because there's no sets or no laser beams or no explosions, anything like that. So it's all done in the post-production for the CG graphics. You have to plan well for a storyboard, and it has to show exactly what's going to happen to explain all the crew and staff. So I have to explain everything to the crew and also the performers to make sure everyone knows what's going on. If you're shooting on the set, you can see the buildings or the landscape, or you can see the explosions and stuff like that, but you have to imagine everything. So it has a good side and bad side. It's good side, it's great. You can create the entire world. Bad side, you can feel it, you can see it, so you have to imagine everything. So the Ultra Galaxy fight, its story is based on what's happened in the Land of Light, Ultraman's planet. So there's no human characters involved. Most of the time is all Ultraman themselves. They deliver dramas and the story takes on what they're doing and stuff. So I do miss human characters or actors, their smiles and everything. But also I have a great fun working with all the guys in costumes, just because that's what my background is. I used to be a stunt performer for a film and TV series. So I know exactly what's going on, and I feel like home, working with these guys. So it's a different kind of fun, working with actors, working with stunt persons. So I still have a lot of fun with them. So this is a very difficult question. My personal favorite Ultraman. There's a lot of my personal favorite Ultraman is out there. I do have a very strong attachment to the Ultraman Zero and Ultraman G, just because I did all those two. I introduced them. I also Ultraman Victory because I introduced all of these guys. But my all-time hero Ultraman is Ultraman Leo, because when I was young, I saw him on the TV for the first time. Then I was very shocked to see him fighting using the karate style, or like a Bruce Lee style. He used ninjas, he used a lot of karate chops and karate kicks and stuff, and it was my hero. So I still love him, and I do try to put him into my films and TV series as much as I can. So I would say my personal favorite, my hero is Ultraman Leo, and my personal attachment to the Ultraman Zero, Ultraman Victory, and Ultraman G. And my favorite kaiju is a very difficult question too. There's a lot of good kaijus out there. But when I was little, the kaiju gave me most impact was Zeton, just because he went, Ultraman almost died. So but first time I saw the show, last episode of Ultraman, it's very shocking because you don't really imagine your hero lose by a kaiju. So the Zeton gives me a very, very big impression back then, and still does. So I still scared of him. So yes, my favorite is maybe Zeton. Okay. Hello everyone. Ultra Series next year will be 55th anniversary. It's a long time going series, and I hope you enjoy the new ones, old ones. There's a lot of different choices out there. I do enjoy them. I do enjoy making them. I do enjoy watching them. So I hope you guys enjoy too. Hello, we are right in the middle of shooting a brand new Ultraman series called Ultraman Z. I hope you guys will enjoy a new hero, new Ultraman. He's a student of the Ultraman Zero, and we also have a robot team, like Sevinger, Wingdom. They have a great adventure together. Hope you enjoy it. And also that you enjoy Ultra Galaxy Fight. It should be available. You can watch it anytime. And has a lot of action and a lot of different Ultraman, especially newer ones, what we call new generations. And if you like the first Ultra Galaxy, we might be planning on something more. So hopefully you guys stay tuned and watch us and have fun.
That was awesome. Thank you so much.
That was very awesome. I do want to make a slight correction. That was Koichi Sakamoto, the director of Ultra Galaxy Fight, a great director. It was not Kiyotaka Taguchi, the director of Ultraman Z, which is fine. The real interesting thing about what Sakamoto-san just said is he is confirming Ultra Galaxy Fight 2. Ultra Galaxy Fight 2 is coming up. It's in post-production right now. It's totally exciting. Totally exciting.
Is amazing.
So here's the thing about Ultra Galaxy Fight, which I find as a fan so interesting. Ultra Galaxy Fight was created specifically for YouTube. So the format is short, so it's a series of short segments, but the episodes are complete, and they don't have to kind of ascribe to some of the rules that the main TV show has to ascribe to because of the format, because of the toy element and so forth. So you don't have humans transforming into ultras, it's just the ultras. And what's cool about that is that means you can concentrate on lore, on the history and mythology of the ultras, and on the intrigue between the ultras themselves and their villains, and the complex plots that are unfurling on a kind of cosmic level. The way it's shot is using some really kind of advanced special effects, a lot of virtual sets and things like that you don't normally see on the TV show.
That is so cool. And an example of how bringing Ultraman to different media like YouTube is different from everything else and lets you focus on something which you haven't seen before as much. So. And
what is Transmedia about that is that it expands the canon. Right. That it is officially a part of the Ultra universe, and yet it's giving us something new. Now, I've gotten a tiny peek at Ultra Galaxy Fight 2, and when it comes to canon, when it comes to the story, I have not seen anything quite as ambitious as the additions to the lore that are going to be happening in Ultra Galaxy Fight 2. Really, totally exciting, and in some ways connecting everything together, including Ultraman Z, which I'm watching and enjoying right now, and is airing. Z itself is airing on YouTube. So the TV show airs in Japan on Saturday mornings, which are our Friday nights. And as soon as it finishes airing, they post. So on Friday night, we can run to YouTube and watch English subtitled episodes of Z.
Nice.
Now, we actually have the Z director, Kiyotaka Taguchi, with his own message in Japanese with English subtitles right now. Can we run that?
That would be awesome. Let's run the tape. Or the video. The digital video.
アメリカの皆さん、こんにちは。ウルトラマン Z 監督の田口清隆です。日本の特撮ものでいうと、平成ガメラシリーズの樋口真嗣監督の特撮が一番影響を受けていて、ワンカットワンカットに対する絵作りとか作り込みに関しては、本当にカメラで見せていただいた特撮の絵作りをとても参考にしています。映画監督全体でいうと、一番好きな監督はスティーブン・スピルバーグ監督で、すごい怖い映画から優しい映画まで全て撮られて、常にいろんなジャンル、同じウルトラマンの中でもいろんなジャンルの映画を見ているように、毎回作り方を変えるというのを、ある意味スティーブン・スピルバーグ監督の映画がそれぞれ違う、同じ監督だけど、なんかジャンルが違うかのように全部色を変えて作っているかのような感じでウルトラマンをやっているよというのを心がけています。同じ画面に、それぞれ違うものがあるっていうのは、言ってしまえば全部が VFX になってしまうので、撮影の時に常にどこに誰がいるというのを計算しながら撮らなきゃいけないので、特撮のいわゆるミニチュアセットの中に着ぐるみがいる時っていうのはもう本当にその場で撮っているのが 体重も違う大きさのやつがいて、でも下地は、人間が立っている実際の風景だったりするので、位置だったり、光の加減だったりをそれぞれ合わせた怪獣を別々に撮る作業はかなり手の込んだりしてまして、テレビシリーズっていうのはすごく短い時間で撮っているので、ない時間の中であれだけの物量を撮るということが一番大変でした。一番好きなウルトラマンは初代ウルトラマンです。なんといってもウルトラマンの一番、基本となる話の展開がそこにあって、なんていうかとても単純明快で、怪獣がまず現れて、で、人類が襲われ、で、人類側の防衛隊がそれに対して必死に戦って、それで最後にダメだっていう時に救世主としてウルトラマンが現れるっていう、で、なんといっても明るく楽しくっていう、なんていうか全体に流れる楽しい空気が初代ウルトラマンが大好きなので、でかつそこに現れるウルトラマンっていうのは、とてもいい意味で不気味なんですよね。ウルトラマンもなんとか精神の一人であるという感じが、単純に僕は怪獣映画が好きなので、その辺がウルトラマンもとてもそういう宇宙の神秘を感じさせるキャラクターなので、とにかく初代ウルトラマンが大好きです。なのでウルトラマン Z はなんかそこをなるべく習っていきつつ、現代のウルトラマンとうまいことブレンドしていこうと思って作っていました。なんかいろいろこの年になって全てこう総合した上で結局一番好きになってしまった怪獣はジャミラです。ジャミラって実は人間であって怪獣って言っていいのかわからない怪獣ではあるんですけども、逆にもう僕はジャミラは絶対触れたくないと思っているぐらい好きな怪獣です。怪獣自体が悪いわけじゃなくて、単純に人類がいるこの世界に現れた時に人類とは共存できない大きさだったり習性を持っているから倒されるんだって、本人が特別悪い意志を持っているっていうのはそんなになかったりすると思うんですけども、だからこそ人類側の攻撃を受けて倒されてしまうというその存在がやられる美学というか、倒されていく時の怪獣が最初は凶暴で怖いのに、倒される時はどこか悲しげでかわいそうって思われてしまうような、そんな怪獣が大好きなので、そのやられる時のなんていうか悲哀の最上級がジャミラのやられ方だったりするので、あのシーンなんかはちょっとなんなら大人になってから見てもちょっと泣いてしまうようなシーンになっていて、そんなこともあってジャミラが大好きです。とにかくウルトラマンは僕は大好きなんですけれども、ちゃんとアメリカの方にウルトラマンが見ていただけるように、リリースされて、それが皆さんに見ていただけているという話を聞きまして、とても嬉しく思っています。公式にちゃんとたくさん出していくタイミングで僕はそのウルトラマン Z を作っていたタイミングなので、それもとても光栄に思っていて、最もウルトラマンらしいものを作ってみようっていうテーマで始めているウルトラマン Z なので、それがアメリカの皆様に見ていただけて、それが受け入れられているということであれば、とてもやってよかったなと思うし、これからもどんどんウルトラマンをアメリカの皆さんにも見ていただきたいなと思っています。ウルトラマンのとても、基本的な物語展開で最初は進んでいくんですけれども、これから先はどんどん話が展開していきます。でその中では、例えばその今までシリーズで前に出てきたキャラクターが出てきたりとか、昔出てきたキャラクターがもうお話の中に、とてもストーリーに重要な役割をして、それが展開していくということになっていくので、ぜひとも前のシリーズにも興味を持っていただき、それを合わせて楽しんでいただけるようになっていけたらありがたいなと思っています。でシリーズ全体、今回このシリーズ構成という立ち位置でストーリー全体に伏線としてまぶして作ってあるので、一話一話もきちんと楽しめるようにしつつ、一つのシリーズとして最後まで見ていただけると嬉しいです。
Wow. I especially love when he talks about how the sizes of the creatures. He actually keeps track of the distinction in the various sizes of the creatures and accounts for them in the way that he shoots the show. Really tremendous.
Yeah, that was amazing. Thank you for sharing that.
I know we only have a little time left, and one thing I wanted to be sure to cover is the relationship that the licensing group and Starlight Runner are developing on behalf of Subaraya Productions with the fans. We love the Ultraman fan community. They have been extraordinarily generous in considering UltramanGalaxy.com, which is the official North American website for Ultraman. And we've been doing our best to get them news and products and information about licensed stuff and upcoming Ultraman projects through UltramanGalaxy.com. But also there's a thriving social media community. And you might see me show up, you know, almost every day somewhere. I'm watching fan feedback. I'm asking questions. I'm making jokes and comments and so forth, because I know what it's like to be a fan, and I wanted to bring that flavor, that relationship to the North American and international fandom.
Well, it's so amazing that you're a legend in transmedia itself, and you're also a fan of Ultraman, the property. It's like a perfect combination here. What can we expect to see as far as Instagram Live, Instagram Stories? Is there a TikTok? What are some of the other ways that fans can get Ultraman wherever we are?
Sure. Well, everything is just getting underway. A big boost to our visibility is going to be the rise of Ultraman, the Marvel comic, which is gorgeous. Fans should be sure to watch that C.B. Cebulski interview coming up here. It's just awesome, and so we'll be building out the social media presence and making it more robust. But we're also interested in user-generated content and watching what fans do with their toys and toy collections and how they're showing off their Ultraman merch.
Oh, that's right. Like unboxing type videos for Ultraman. Absolutely. Would definitely be a thing. I've recently gotten into TikTok during pandemic myself. I would love it if some TikTok influencer would start to do some sort of like Ultraman dance, and then we could all do the dance to the theme song or something. Can that be a thing? Let's make it a thing. So awesome.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So how I see that you, speaking of toys and merch, you seem to have something in the background there. What is that?
That is one of my prized possessions. This is an Ultraman a collectible from Bandai.
Ooh, very cool.
Way back.
That looks authentic to me.
Straight from Japan, extremely expensive. And of course I have my my standard action figs and so forth. Lots of monsters and things like that. I'm trying not to hoard. But it's all great stuff. Yes. So listen, jump on UltramanGalaxy.com, because there's a bunch of promotions special for today.
Oh, cool.
Look at the carousel at the front page for those promotions. There are 4 cool kind of articles, including a link to the Ultraman store, where there are Alex Ross Ultraman collectibles on the store, which is just, that painting blows my mind. It's so good. There'll be more stuff added to that store in the weeks and months to come. But there are other promos that our licensees have gotten together to do, including pins and the Birth of Ultraman DVD. You'll learn all about it in other segments today here on Ultraman Day. And feel free to jump on my social media, my Facebook page, Jeff Gomez, and at Jeff_Gomez is my Twitter. LinkedIn, just any way you like, come and contact me and say hi.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Jeff, for hanging out and spending time with us on Ultraman Day. Amazing stuff you're working on, and we're so excited. Is there anything else that you could perhaps tease of other things that you're working on that that the the fans would love to hear about?
Well, recently, there's the announcement of season 2 of Ultraman, of anime Ultraman on Netflix. The first season was the #1 anime on Netflix, which again blows my mind. It's totally awesome. Ultra Galaxy Fight 2 coming up this fall. Zet is just going to continue to unfold and be so exciting. And just wait. There'll be some more things, perhaps even before the end of today. Some super cool.
Awesome. Okay, thank you so much for hanging out with us, Jeff. Totally appreciate it, and thank you for all the great content and goodies.
Listen, everyone watching, allow me to be an example of someone who came from kind of humble beginnings, but who had a specific notion in mind. How can stories be told in this unusual way? And my inspirations, shows like Ultraman, helped me to understand how to do the things that I now do for a living. It is truly possible to make your dreams come true, and to lead a productive and creative life. So think about that, and let stories inspire you to do the things that make the world a better place and fulfill you.
Yes, certainly inspirational and amazing, and such a cool job you have that is that you made up. So
Little nerdy, little. Well, thank you so much, Kevin. You've been fantastic.
Happy Ultraman Day.
Happy Ultraman Day. Bye-bye for now.